being here today and for your ongoing good work. Ambassador Robinson, I would like to begin with you because New Hampshire, like Ohio, has a very difficult problem with substance misuse. And as I hear from law enforcement and our DEA agents, the majority of those drugs are coming across our southern border from Mexico. And so I wonder if, just to follow up on Senator Portman's question, what specifically are we doing with Mexico to try and address this problem? Because whatever we've been doing hasn't been working.
Thank you, Senator. And I agree with you. I mean, there is nothing more heartbreaking than what drugs like fentanyl is doing to our communities across the United States. I was just in Mexico, along with my colleague, Brian, for negotiations at the high-level security dialogue. We work very closely with the government of Mexico. They have agreed with us on on an accord that lists a number of things that we're going to do, including greater cooperation on intel exchange, working more closely within the interagency with our partners in the interagency, the FBI, DEA. They've just agreed to more visas for DEA agents in Mexico. But I think one of the aspects that we miss that is not as public is the great work we do, we INL and the interagency, with the state and local Mexican, state and local governments in Mexico. They clamor for greater opportunities to cooperate and collaborate with us on security issues, on equipment, on training. So we are trying to keep up with the demand. The last thing I would say is we have some work to do at home on this issue as well. If we can't get a handle on the demand side for these drugs.
Clearly, I certainly, you don't have to argue that with me. I would certainly agree with that. And we are working hard in New Hampshire, and I know in other states, to try and address that. So thank you very much. Assistant Secretary Nichols, as a region, Latin America has among the highest rates of violence against women and girls in the world. This has been exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic, and of course it's been exacerbated in Venezuela, where we've seen women and girls flee that country and be subject to sexual assault and other means of gender-based violence. Can you talk about what the administration's policy is to help support Venezuelan women and girls?
So our goal is to combat sexual and gender-based violence throughout the hemisphere, but migrants, and particularly Venezuelan migrants, are exceptionally vulnerable to gender-based violence. We work to provide training to first responders. We partner with international organizations like the International Organization for Migration and the UN High Commission for Refugees to provide support to combat gender-based violence. We fund shelters along the migrant route, as well as in a variety of countries in the hemisphere. We work with gender champions, and when I was ambassador to Peru, I was very honored to work with Arlette Contreras, who won our International Woman of Courage Award while I was there.
Thank you. Obviously, we have more work to do, but can you speak to the challenges that we face because we don't have ambassadors in a number of Latin American countries, and what that means for our ability to enact foreign policy that's in the best interest of American citizens?
An ambassador is crucial. They're the president's personal representative. They can deliver tough messages that no one else can. They're our highest-ranking officers who have a level of understanding and discernment that informs Washington policymaking, and their presence also signifies the importance of the relationship. And while not having an ambassador shouldn't be seen as a slight, that's often how it's perceived.
and something that we certainly need to do everything we can to move forward in Congress. And I would just like to point out, I had a recent case in my office where a New Hampshire citizen's daughter was in the hospital. She was having real issues with the hospital, and after they got a call from the embassy, the attitude in the hospital and the treatment of that family changed dramatically. So it's that kind of difference that our embassies and our ambassadors make in countries not only in Latin America but around the world. So hopefully we can get these people confirmed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Senator Hagerty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Assistant Secretary Nichols, it's good to see you again.